call to order, roll call, and establish quorum.
Megan?
Here.
And Kayon?
Here.
Ashley?
Here.
And Jody?
Here. 2, consideration and action on consent agenda, minutes from July 5th, regular meeting. Motion to approve. I second that motion.
Who was the second? I'm sorry. Okay, Megan?
Yes.
Kayon?
Here.
Jody?
Yes.
Ashley?
Lynn.
Yes.
Sorry.
Here.
She said here. She said you're roll calling. Just catching up.
All right, I'm gonna skip number 3 since we didn't have anything removed. Number 4, public appearances, petitions, communications, and personal appearances under Oklahoma law. The Perkins, or the Parks and Rec, Board members are prohibited from discussing or taking any action on items not on today's agenda. Number 5, open meeting / Open Records Act and Parks and Recreation Board responsibilities, training by city attorney.
Sorry, I should have. I'm a lawyer, so I'm more comfortable at a podium. Okay, well, I'm Tammy Ewing. I'm the city attorney. I've been here for almost 2 years, which is just hard to believe. And one of the things that I have taught here many times and taught in other cities as well, and will gladly show up and teach, which I think is one of the most important things for every board member, trust member, city commission member, is the Open Meetings Act and the Open Records Act. Because those are the 2 acts that have consequences that can land you in jail. And that can cause, there are a lot of lawsuits about the Open Meetings Act and lots of issues with open records requests. So if we can avoid problems before they start, that's always a good thing. So I want to start with Open Meeting Act. And basically it's longer and more complicated than you would think, but it basically requires public bodies to make decisions at public meetings. In other words, you don't get to talk and meet and consider and make decisions outside of public meetings. It's basically what they call a sunshine law. The whole goal is to have transparency so the public knows what you're doing, what you're considering, what the issues are, what each of you is thinking about a particular topic. If you are talking, that you be doing it in public. So public bodies have to make decisions at public meetings. And a public meeting is defined as basically anytime the majority of you gets together. But that doesn't mean, so there's 7 on your board, that means 4 of you getting together and making a decision or contemplating conducting government business. Now, getting together, though, does not mean necessarily being in the same room. It does not require you to be in the same room. It can be the way it's worded, either personally, by video, by phone, by electronic means, or by individual polling. So electronic means is one way that people mess up. You'll hear, if you haven't already, Trent will email you and he'll say, don't reply all, okay? Reply to me, never reply all. If you're in any official capacity, just try real hard not to reply all, because that if everybody's talking by email, you're having a meeting, and it's a violation of an Open Meeting Act. The other thing that is prohibited that you might not think about is what we call polling, which means that you're wondering how other people are feeling about this issue that's going to come before you or has come before you. That's some kind of business. And so you call one person and talk to them, and then you go over here and you call another person, and then you go over here. If you call and talk to 3 other people, you have violated the Open Meeting Act. You can't poll around and see what everybody thinks, or get the decision made ahead of time outside of meeting. So I actually worked with a city council, and they had wards, so these 2 people didn't live together. At least that was the story. But they were engaged. He was in one ward, she was in another. But they were incredible in how much they did not talk to each other. It was a city council of 5 people, and there were times when she would say, I wanted to talk to Brian about that. I didn't want to talk to John, my fiance. You could tell in meetings that they had not discussed that. They would look at each other and be surprised at the position that the other one was taking. So it was pretty incredible, but they were very, very cognizant of their responsibilities. So that's one of the facets of the Open Meeting Act. The other one is that it requires that that all the business that you conduct be listed on agendas. You have to have an agenda that identifies all items of business that will be transacted at the meeting. And that agenda has to be posted at least 24 hours before a regular meeting, 48 hours before a special meeting, and it has to list the items of business that you're going to be discussing. And the reason for that is because if somebody's interested in a topic, they should have a right to be here and to be heard on it, or at least to hear you discuss it. So Amy and Trent and I will spend, you guys don't have any idea how much time the clerks and I spend on the wording for agenda items, because we want you to be able to talk about it. We want you to be able to do, but we may not want you to necessarily, like there are times when we will have strategically, I shouldn't admit this, but consider and discuss, but not take action. Because I don't know what action you want to take, and it's probably going to take an agreement, or it's going to, and so I don't want you getting out ahead of me, and so I need to figure out what you were discussing and thinking, and then I can go figure out how to make it happen, and we'll put that on the next agenda. So we spend some time making sure you guys can do what you need to do, and so just don't get annoyed if Amy or Trent says we're a little off agenda, or they may not say off agenda because that's kind of obvious. They'll say, let's discuss that next time. We'll put that on your agenda. Let's discuss that more next time, or whatever. So it's important that you stay on agenda, because because a willful violation of the Open Meeting Act is a misdemeanor, and you can go to jail for up to a year or a $500 fine. So, and people do. There are city councilors mainly who we see going to jail sometimes. Okay, Open Records Act. That is an act that requires the city to disclose records, which we'll talk about what that is, of employees and public officials. That includes you. And there are certain exceptions. There's a list of exceptions. A record is all documents, books, papers, photographs, microfilm data filed on computers. There's a long list, and then it ends with material regardless of physical form or characteristic. So it could be a text, it could be an email, it can be anything that is as a document, could be considered a document. I forgot to say something. I always say about Open Meetings Act. Let me back up and start over. Not start over, but finish. And I had a guy recently say it to me. He's like, yeah, you told us that. The time that you're most likely to violate the Open Meeting Act is the 10 minutes before a meeting starts and the 10 minutes after it's over. And I've seen people, I've been with people out in the audience about a hot subject, get up there and start talking with 3 people on a body of 5 about something and I'm like, no, don't do it, because they're like, well, I wonder if they did, and then when the meeting's over, you're like, well, that was crazy or whatever. And so I'm not saying don't talk about things, don't talk amongst yourself, but just be cognizant that those are the times when it's most likely. Okay, back to open records. So a record is basically anything in the possession or control of a city employee or public official in connection with business. It's kind of like anything that you receive or send that is transacting business. So there is, one of the exclusions is attorney-client privilege, but that's only if I'm acting in the capacity of giving legal advice. There was a case where a board tried to run every communication through the city attorney. If we copy the city attorney, it's attorney-client privileged. And the court's like, yeah, no, that doesn't work, It has to be actually in the context of giving legal advice. So, I would say probably not most, a lot of communications you might have with me or that they might have with me are privileged, but not all of them. And so, same thing, a willful violation of the Open Records Act is a misdemeanor, carries a maximum 1-year jail sentence and or $500 fine. The interesting thing about this act, though, is that it can also be a civil violation. It can subject you to a civil lawsuit. So they could sue you, they could sue the city for failure to turn over documents. So one of the provisions of the act is that you are not liable and the city is not liable if we turn something over. We can only be found liable if we fail to. So the city attorney is likely to be saying, we're turning this over, and she's not going to care how embarrassing that is to you. Okay, so if this is a text message where you texted each other and said, I can't stand that guy, and I don't ever want to let him have what he wants, or he shouldn't ever be able to coach a team or whatever, you see what I'm saying? Be real careful, because if somebody's requesting a record that has to do with that transaction of that business, the City of Tulsa counselors are dealing with that issue right now. It happens. I'm likely to say, sorry, but we're going to give it over, because then we can't be held civilly liable. The city can't be, and you can't be either. So just be a little bit careful about what you put in writing, because it's likely to be turned over if there's an open record request that properly requests that document. And then what I've started doing along with this training is just to give you, because often I'm training people who are new to a board, is to give you the cheat sheet, I guess, version of what your powers and authorities are. What it is that you can do, how you're set up. And the Parks and Recreation Board has responsibility under the charter for all recreation activity and all park areas within the city. It's composed, as you know, of 7 members, 3-year terms. The City Commission, by ordinance, according to the charter, shall determine qualifications, rules, and procedures for the Parks and Recreation Board. So there's a lot of oversight. There's also financial oversight of this board. Any money that you receive has to be paid over to the city clerk and put in the general fund. So then the City Commission gets to decide how much of it comes back out for you. So you don't get to control, you don't have your money, in that sense. That's not to say that they're not going to if you raise money, it's not gonna, I mean, obviously, clearly, if you're raising money, it's gonna go for the purpose that you raised it. I mean, we're not gonna be playing any games, but you just need to understand that it's not your money technically. Purchases and supplies has to all be done through the city commission. Trent doesn't get to go buy anything as much as he might like to. And you guys, the board members, Trent has no authority to contract with somebody for something, to pay somebody for something. If you do, the city attorney is going to say, well, good, right? Where's your checkbook? Because that's a contract you made with that entity and you're paying for it. So just be really, a little careful on that. But it's an important board. I mean, it's truly, I think, unique in that the charter says that you're responsible for all recreation activity in all park areas within the city. That's huge. And so we appreciate you. And that's kind of I didn't give you time to ask questions along, because I know you've got a lot of business to do. But I'll just start. Any questions about the Open Meetings Act? Who you can talk to, what's on the agenda?
I don't know if it's necessarily a question, but I just wanted to confirm my thought and what I took from that is on the polling. If I wanted to talk to these two, I could do that, right?
Absolutely.
I just couldn't talk to more than
These
me
two.
and two others. Okay.
Right.
So if it was something that we were thinking about or we had discussed at a meeting, I could talk to them and then they could go.
The thing you have to be careful about is that you can't go, okay, I'm talking to you two, and so I know what you two, and then you go and talk to another two, and you can get around that. So as long as you're not
as long as I'm not involved in all the things, I guess.
right, and you don't necessarily have somebody telling you what everybody else is thinking, just wait till you get to a meeting to do it. And you guys being a board of 7, you can have subcommittees. And that is, that's a good way to have, then you get to have those 3-people subcommittee, 3-person subcommittee, right, a 3-person subcommittee could then come make recommendations. Anything else on Open Meetings Act, Records Act, anything that? Okay, well, thanks, you guys. and really, one of the things that they know and the staff knows is that because I've been a lawyer, I just realized in October it will be 35 years now. And so I'm totally good with blaming it on the lawyer, the damn lawyer, as long as it's really me. I worked with one city manager I loved, but I would overhear him say, yeah, that's illegal. And I'd say, no, it's not. I say, but yeah, so that's all good. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna let you have a meeting.
Okay.
I'll be in the car if anybody thinks anything. Yeah.
Email me what we figured out for the expenses for the donation slips.
Eventually.
Okay, so it's not all done.
No, because what are you doing? The sponsorship policy that we are almost done getting drafted because you're in it.
Okay.
And then that's what you're gonna have. Hold on, you're talking about the sponsorship for the banners. The policy, and then you guys have to.
Thanks to the commission.
It'll take a while.
Okay.
To figure that out. Sorry.
Thanks, Tammy.
Bye.
Meeting. Yeah, ish.
All right.
It is being worked on though.
Number 6, consideration and discussion regarding fall sports leagues. Trent.
As of right now, I have a total of 9 kids signed up for soccer. I mean, that's, yeah, that is pre-K to second grade.
We left signups.
August 25th.
Yes, which I think once school starts, I think more word will.
Maybe more pre-K and kindergartners, just for the simple fact that another organization has 140 kids this year.
Do we have like flyers?
I can get them when school starts up. I'll get all that stuff set up and ready to
Send
go.
home like, even if we got them for meet the teacher night, that could go in all that packet of papers that teachers give parents to take home. It's the 15th, just.
And I'll put them on some type of bright yellow or something paper so it sticks out.
To be honest, I haven't seen anything about signups.
Advertisement.
Yeah.
It's on Facebook all the time.
But I mean, it just has not crossed anything like.
Else.
Yeah, it's not been anything I really noticed either.
Yeah, like it's, unless, which my Facebook is, which is soft topic, but it's full of teacher stuff right now, like the algorithm of Facebook.
Right.
So like Parks and Rec doesn't usually pop up. I gotta go search it and then share stuff usually.
So I'm wondering if people just haven't heard.
But if we could do the flyers, I mean, I would definitely put them in my packet of paperwork with families, and I doubt any of the other teachers would have an issue with that.
And I'll post in our bandit group too. I'll share that. I'll go and find the info and share it there.
Yeah. Just for other siblings and
Yes, because I'm sure there's some younger siblings there.
As far as that, the T-ball will probably be the only other thing we have going. Just the baseball and stuff, softball. I got 1 8U softball and 4 12U softball players. That's it.
Are we doing flag football? No. Because I heard a lot of people signing up for flag football, so.
They're doing it in Stillwater.
Stillwater.
Okay.
There's like 140.
140 bandit football players right now. I know there's more coming.
Correct.
I've talked to several. There's more coming.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, okay. I'll try to get some word out.
Yeah, and I'm like I said, I share it at least once, maybe twice a week. Signups are going on. If they need to, they can go to the city webpage and fill it out and print it off, or email it to me or whatever.
Okay.
Just go to the city and pay it.
All right, number 7, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding a back-to-school movie in the park event to be held in August of 2023.
Are you thinking like end of August? Because I know like a lot of teachers and families, if it's before school,
No, I think we were talking about after school starts, like an after back to school type deal. My concern is it'll be 107 degrees. That's my big concern with that.
That, and I did see the tribe's doing something like this. I could be wrong.
they're doing a back to school event. They always do a back to school event, so it'll be like probably bounce houses and things.
Okay.
That's where
I remember seeing something about a back to school something, so I did want to.
But I was thinking if we still want to do it, I might be able to get it put into the Master Center. At least then it'd be a whole lot cooler.
Yeah. But how would we manage
That's
occupancy?
the other thing. It's 107 degrees is gonna be a little rough to get. Because it was hot when we did the one in June. I mean, it was hot then.
Yeah. We can't do like water stuff like that at the parks, can we? If we wanted to change it from like a movie to like a fun like water slide.
We can't.
I don't think so. I don't think
Okay.
it will be a liability issue for us.
Okay.
What time we're planning on doing it?
be a later.
Later deal.
No.
It wouldn't be as high.
No, but I mean, even like the June, I mean, that was still miserable once the sun went down.
Now we can push it back and do something Christmas, around Christmas, November, December, end of October type deal, where it'd be a little bit cooler. And still not so cold to where it can't be outside.
I mean, I see there's other things on here.
I know, that's what I was just gonna say. I don't think I can say that yet. My vote is to probably not.
I feel like we're gonna run into like football. Like we're gonna run into demon football, bandit football, and we're gonna run out of days if we're pushing too hard into
I understand that.
the end of August, beginning of September, and
I mean, I like the idea of doing something, but like I said, when it's 107 degrees outside,
Yeah. I mean, and we've had, I know at least one parent just sitting there at practices this last week, go down. I don't want to put people in jeopardy like that either.
and bring kids out, and it's not. I don't think it'd be a good idea.
No.
That's just me talking out loud.
No, I agree with that. As much as I hate to, I mean, I motion, I'll be the bad guy, but I motion to probably cancel that or not do this for right
So
now.
I don't know if this is off topic, but it's the same thing.
Don't go down there.
So we'll replace the After School movie with something else?
We'll get there.
we're gonna cancel this one for now.
I'm like, leave it just.
Ashley's.
And I second that.
We gotta be real, since we just learned the rules.
Yeah.
Pam,
Yes.
Megan,
Yes.
Jody.
Yes.
Ashley.
All right, number 8, consideration and discussion regarding donations for Perkins Parks and Rec fencing upgrades. Trent.
As soon as we get the verbiage right and everything on how we can word it without having any issues with any businesses or individuals that want, we will get on that quickly.
Have we gotten any yet?
Any further donations?
Not that I know there was a $1,500 check that came in.
That was the one that we had last time, right?
Yeah. As far as I know, there have been no others. But as it stands right now, I got Tanner for the next 2 days, my son, and he's gonna go out there. We started on it today. We started pulling the fence out of the ground and just lifting it up and trying to tighten it up the best I can.
Yeah.
I know what I got to work with, and I know it's coming, but until she gets everything worded properly to where we don't get in a lawsuit, we're with what we have right now.
And we're working on the verbiage for asking for donations, is that right?
Applications,
Applications.
so people can.
This is for possible
This is
signage, correct?
Policy for sponsorships.
Yes,
Possible banners for sponsors.
yes,
Which we had kind of talked about.
yes.
Number 9, consideration and discussion regarding potential parks and recreation Halloween activities.
Okay. In October, I understand we're real big into bandit football and stuff. But if we can throw mom-son dance like we do the father-daughter dance or something for them, because there's a lot of kids that have moms and not dads, and those kids are out, or your moms and your sons are out while your dads and daughters are doing all this other stuff.
Or you don't have any daughters.
October.
I was like, or we could just have a Halloween festivity.
It's kind of what I was leaning towards, like, what if we did, like, we could
Spooky fest or something, like a spook fest.
yes,
Or,
where anybody could dress up. We could have I know, like, Monster Mash used to do a contest, like, best dressed for age divisions. Like, we could do something like that, and it could be like a dance type situation too.
And I mean, we can use the whole plaza at that point in time and just have various
Like a carnival
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah, we could set up different things in different areas and, I mean,
There's even a concession stand in there.
Yes, there is.
I think we did hot chocolate one year.
Hot chocolate and
We could turn the Reader's Trail into like a spooky trail. Okay.
or we could even do that down the Dixon too, if
Yeah.
we want to do, because it's got more area for us.
Yeah.
And if we can have music down at the pavilion, have a little dance area, get all those picnic tables cleared off the pavilion. I mean, there's, the possibilities are limitless with the area that we have.
and that gives us a little time to,
Right.
I do like that idea. And then fall breaks there too. I mean, I know some people do travel, but I mean, we could even do it like, cause that'd be like what, the week and a half before Halloween?
17th or something.
Yeah.
I believe it's in October that the intermediate now does their thing too, so we just
yeah,
need
like, we
to.
need to schedule
No,
that.
not the sock hop. They do a Halloween
like a fall
deal
festival.
now, like a fall festival. So we just want to be careful not to do the same thing or,
Step on their toes of the date.
yeah, because it's a big deal for the.
Is that the day of?
No.
No, they do
We'll
theirs.
just have to,
I
it
think
should
it's
be
right before fall
scheduled.
break or.
It should already be scheduled, I think, so
After.
we'll have to look at the date.
So we need to look up.
That they do a huge deal. I know that a couple years ago, people in the community did express interest in the Mummy Sundance because so many other cities and towns do it. Yeah, Stillwater.
Yeah.
Stillwater always did one. I don't know if they still
Stillwater always
do,
does,
but
yes.
I know we
I went
were
with Mother's when he was little, but
Yeah.
No, I
with Stillwater.
agree. Like
Yeah, that was-
we tried it before, and we had like maybe 5 people like show up. So I mean, it wasn't a big thing.
It was here in Perkins.
So I mean, it wasn't a huge. I mean, it wasn't a good turnout like the daddy-daughter dance is. And then it kind of got snayed after that. Like,
Yeah.
I know Halloween's on a Tuesday this year.
so they'll probably will they trick or treat on Tuesday.
Yeah.
they always trick or treat on Halloween.
Yeah.
Well, that's right, because we were gonna load the boys up last year.
Yeah, we're gonna load them up for
That is the year that's the time of year that there's nothing but bandit football players trick or treating and cheerleaders.
That's right.
I think that's what we did last year.
So that's what Tanner did, and that's what all of our last group. But you know, and once we get the bandit schedules out, where we're at on that Saturday before.
We would know, yeah, I was like, cause they should have their schedule out pretty quickly.
Right. Maybe we can do it that week, especially if we're home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Make
think
it a whole lot easier doing it on
Yes.
a weekend where the bandit players are home.
Yeah, so we can check, I'll
I
ask.
think they're next week to come out, I think.
It
Should be.
It's usually
There
right
is a
around that
meeting
first
on
week.
Sunday
Yeah.
with the,
Yep. So as soon as we get that figured out in our, what month are we in, August?
yes.
Our September meeting, we can nail down a date.
okay. So have we made a decision if we keep it at Mummy and Son or?
I think we make it like a spook fest or something, like something more inclusive to try to bring more.
But I mean, within that Spook Fest, if we're wanting to do something just for mother son, I mean, that could be a category
Yeah.
for.
Do a mother-son,
Contest?
costume
Yeah.
Contest, yeah.
contest. Where they,
Oh, that's not fun.
well, but I mean, but that's something y'all can get a committee formed and go over that stuff and iron that.
Category.
3 or less.
3 or less.
Competition between the two would be better, like.
Yeah, I mean, just something.
Yeah.
But if y'all want to form a committee and do 3 or less, that'd be perfect. You know, like I said, I mean, so far I have not been told no on trying to do more community outreach.
Right.
There's been no resistance met at all
Yeah.
from people in the community and city management. I mean, it's been, hey, if y'all think you can do it, let's try it.
Yeah.
So fortunately, we have not had any resistance at all on it.
I would almost like to have most of it planned by that September meeting though, so we can
Make a final decision.
have like I'd like to have flyers made almost like right at that time and start promoting it from that point.
Yeah.
We can do that. Just like I said, that's just one of those deals where you all get a committee together, and if y'all have time.
And I'll put it on the next agenda, so you can pull everybody in and have a discussion.
So this one was just a discussion, so we can't really make an action on it, can we?
Right.
No, but that doesn't, I don't think, and I can check with Tammy later, I don't think that means you can't go ahead and form your subcommittees.
Right.
I think you need a,
Because we're not putting anything in motion.
Put nothing in motion. It's just one of those, hey, y'all want to get 3 people together and talk, because
We haven't done anything.
right, there's nothing to be voted on it.
Okay.
If I understood everything correctly.
That sounds right. I mean,
So who wants to be on this committee? Yeah.
Megan wants to be on that committee.
Yes, I'll totally be on it. I just don't want to be on like every away from everybody. I'll be on it with you.
So then you 3 will decide what that event is gonna be.
Unless you want to do this. If you want to be a part of it, then I'll let you.
I know, y'all are fine. But y'all will decide and then.
I
you
have a
will find
subcommittee
out.
too.
I think, so.
Okay.
We'll just get all the ideas.
Okay. But if you get the ideas, then so it would be the next board meeting before a decision is even made.
We can
As soon as that, like, so we can get all the ideas, we can even make a flyer and we can bring it to the meeting.
Okay, I got you.
And then as soon as the meeting's over, we can go.
Oh, that works.
We can bring our ideas here and just decide on them, right? Because we can say,
And that was today, at like
That's good, yeah.
11 o'clock. I got so there was no,
like
get it on.
that's terrible.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's just something I don't have.
To one of you? Yes. So if I had an idea, I could send it to somebody.
Yeah. Or you can send it to 2 of us. You just can't send it to more than, including you 3.
But if I also say not send it, call.
Questions maybe?
Like that. Like, if you have to respond, it becomes a meeting.
Only, but not if it's.
should not be on.
Yeah, she could send it like in a.
You can't.
Yeah, okay, and that's fine. I just,
According to her.
So I can just send you a few ideas? Okay.
And I can bring them.
Bring them. Okay.
Like when we need it. Yeah, absolutely.
it can happen. Let's make it happen.
Just follow along.
Yep.
Rules about not violating nothing.
Yep. I'll just make it happen.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so we were just kind of how,
Like how this works.
how this all would
Trying
work. Is there, just for the next meeting, we can, like, we've got our committee, get all of our brainstorm ideas, bring it all, we vote on it here, like, we can share all of that with everybody, right? Is there any special wording that needs to be on that agenda marker for that?
We can discuss
Well,
our.
I would love to give you a super easy answer, but you know, it never works that way.
No, I know, I want to make sure that we cover all the things that we're able to meet, basically plan, if you will.
Simplify it to the degree that you can.
Okay.
That's reasonable. And then I always ask Trent, when we start preparing for each meeting, I ask Trent, will you reach out to your board and see if there's anything we need to remove, add to the agenda? And so you might have a more specific idea by then on what action you may want to take.
Maybe we can share a copy of our ideas. Would that be helpful?
Like if we come up with a flyer and all that, and we want to like make sure the board approves that this is an okay.
Yeah, I mean, share them with Trent, and then he can pass them along, and we can work out the agenda from that. I mean, I won't promise there won't be any back and forth a little bit,
Right.
because we have to be so specific
Right.
on the agenda items, but, yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure, like,
And we can have
before.
more than one agenda item. I mean, there might be a consideration and discussion on more on this Halloween event that you want to do when you
Oh, so we could
have
break
more
it
details
down.
ironed out.
Okay.
And then we might have specific items for action, possible action regarding that same event. Does that make sense?
Because the nice thing is you all got your committee form. You bring forth your information that you want to do in September. Okay? Talk about it in September, and then whatever might change, we're the first Wednesday in October, which gives us basically almost a full month
Yeah,
to
to
get it
fix
ironed,
anything
to
that's
get it
got-
done and get it. So I'm
So,
one of those people, the more prepared I can be,
Same. That's why I'm like, I would like
I
to
think our
start.
events will be way more successful.
so,
I want to like,
yeah.
so as soon as we get stuff, we can send it to you.
Send it to me.
You can send it out and
And I can share it.
we'll respond back.
Yep.
Okay.
And I will get it to Amy and to Tammy, and they can cut it up and throw it away.
try again. This doesn't work, try again.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes. All right.
Perfect.
Anything else on that one? All right. 10, new business. Under the Open Meeting Act, this agenda item is authorized only for matters not known about or which could not have been reasonably foreseen prior to the time of posting the agenda or any revised agenda. Okay. 11, adjourn. Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that motion.
Jody?
Yes.
All right, Kayon?
Yes.
Megan?
Yes.
Jody?
Yes.
Ashley?
Yes.
Thanks, everyone. Did great.
Made it through.
It's been a 30-minute meeting if we didn't have to go to class.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I'm glad she came because there was stuff I didn't know. I mean, I'm like you two,
I just want to say, you two just got off a lot easier because that first